Code blue. Code blue. Sir Lablu, where you there now? Where you
The country is in a disaster.
Emergency, emergency. Emergency. Ah, the country is in the disaster. Oh.
Who they rule this country?
I tell you, stop worshipping the politicians. They're all liars.
What are you talking about? Which politicians are liars?
All of them. Obi is a liar. Tinubu is corrupt. Atiku is very willing too. All of them, okay?
Don't argue with me. This is my show, okay? This is my show. I don't know how anybody to defend my show. This is my show. This is my show, okay? You can get the heck out of this room. Abba, this is my show. Get the heck out of this room. I know how to do my duty.
I am saying it categorically. All of them are liars. All of them are thieves. Abba!
Code blue. Code blue. Sir Lablu, where you there now? Where you
The country is in a disaster.
Emergency, emergency. Emergency. Ah, the country is in the disaster. Oh.
Who they rule this country?
I tell you, stop worshipping the politicians. They're all liars.
What are you talking about? Which politicians are liars?
All of them. Obi is a liar. Tinubu is corrupt. Atiku is very willing too. All of them, okay?
Don't argue with me. This is my show, okay? This is my show. I don't know how anybody to defend my show. This is my show. This is my show, okay? You can get the heck out of this room. Abba, this is my show. Get the heck out of this room. I know how to do my duty.
I am saying it categorically. All of them are liars. All of them are thieves. Abba!
Code blue. Code blue. Sir Lablu, where you there now? Where you
The country is in a disaster.
Emergency, emergency. Emergency. Ah, the country is in the disaster. Oh.
Who they rule this country?
I tell you, stop worshipping the politicians. They're all liars.
What are you talking about? Which politicians are liars?
All of them. Obi is a liar. Tinubu is corrupt. Atiku is very willing too. All of them, okay?
Don't argue with me. This is my show, okay? This is my show. I don't know how anybody to defend my show. This is my show. This is my show, okay? You can get the heck out of this room. Abba, this is my show. Get the heck out of this room. I know how to do my duty.
I am saying it categorically. All of them are liars. All of them are thieves. Abba!
Code blue. Code blue. Sir Lablu, where you there now? Where you
The country is in a disaster.
Emergency, emergency. Emergency. Ah, the country is in the disaster. Oh.
Who they rule this country?
I tell you, stop worshipping the politicians. They're all liars.
What are you talking about? Which politicians are liars?
All of them. Obi is a liar. Tinubu is corrupt. Atiku is very willing too. All of them, okay?
Don't argue with me. This is my show, okay? This is my show. I don't know how anybody to defend my show.
Where you there now? Where you
The country is in a disaster.
Emergency, emergency. Emergency. Ah, The country is in the disaster. Oh.
Who they rule this country?
I tell you, stop worshiping the politicians. They're all liars.
What are you talking about? Which politicians are liars?
All of them. Obi is a liar. Tinubu is corrupt. Atiku is very too. All of them.
Don't argue with me. This is my show. Okay, this is my show. I don't allow anybody to defend my show. This is my show. Okay, you can get the heck out of this room. Abba, this is my show. Get the heck out of this room. I don't have to my duty.
And I'm saying it categorically. All of them are liars. All of them are thieves. Abba.
Vote blue. Sir Lablu, where you there now? Where you
The country is in a disaster.
Emergency. The country is in the disaster. Oh.
Who they rule this country?
I tell you, stop worshiping the politicians. They're all liars.
What are you talking about? Which politicians are liars?
All of them. Obi is a liar. Tinubu is corrupt. Atiku is very too. All of them.
Don't argue with me. This is my show. Okay, this is my show. I don't allow anybody to defend my show. This is my show. Okay, you can get the heck out of this room. Abba, this is my show. Get the heck out of this room. I don't have to my duty.
And I'm saying it categorically. All of them are liars. All of them are thieves. Abba.
Vote blue. Sir Lablu, where you there now? Where you
The country is in a disaster.
Emergency. The country is in the disaster. Oh.
Who they rule this country?
I tell you, stop worshiping the politicians. They're all liars.
What are you talking about? Which politicians are liars?
All of them. Obi is a liar. Tinubu is corrupt. Atiku is very too. All of them.
Don't argue with me. This is my show. Okay, this is my show. I don't allow anybody to defend my show. This is my show. Okay, you can get the heck out of this room. Abba, this is my show. Get the heck out of this room. I don't have to my duty.
And I'm saying it categorically. All of them are liars. All of them are thieves. Abba.
Vote blue. Sir Lablu, where you there now? Where you
The country is in a disaster.
Emergency. The country is in the disaster. Oh.
Who they rule this country?
I tell you, stop worshiping the politicians. They're all liars.
What are you talking about? Which politicians are liars?
All of them. Obi is a liar. Tinubu is corrupt. Atiku is very too. All of them.
Don't argue with me. This is my show. Okay, this is my show. I don't allow anybody to defend my show. This is my show. Okay, you can get the heck out of this room. Abba, this is my show. Get the heck out of this room. I don't have to my duty.
And I'm saying it categorically. All of them are liars. All of them are thieves. Abba.
Vote blue. Sir Lablu, where you there now? Where you
The country is in a disaster.
Emergency. The country is in the disaster. Oh.
Who they rule this country?
I tell you, stop worshiping the politicians. They're all liars.
What are you talking about? Which politicians are liars?
All of them. Obi is a liar. Tinubu is corrupt. Atiku is very too. All of them.
Don't argue with me. This is my show. Okay, this is my show. I cannot allow anybody to dictate my show. This is my show. This is my show, okay? You can get the heck out of this room. Baba, this is my show. Get the heck out of this room. I don't have to eat my kitchen.
And I'm saying it categorically. All of them are liars. All of them are thieves. Abba!
I'm here trying to let you understand that every protest in Nigeria is political. And you are there telling me that you are not protesting against Tinubu, you are protesting against bad governance. What the fuck is bad governance? I don't understand. So Yoruba people, if I dey talk about Igbos, it could be like saying only Igbo people get problem. But not the only Igbo people. It is general with Nigerian youth, all these Gen Zs. So many of them, their reasoning get as it be.
Who want to live in a world where I'm sorry, it seems my mic has not been working for a while. The control room has just informed me something went wrong, unfortunately. And I'm sorry about that you have been missing some of the important things that I just said. All right, please stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me, okay? No run, I beg. No run. I have issue with my mic earlier and I didn't take note. Sorry about that. Okay, so going back to the topic, the Gen Zs, the young people online, are pretty much being misled today. That most of the things that they engage in is not based on facts. They just carry themselves and follow the wind most of the time. And I do listen to them pretty much, just to be able to see their perspective. But there's one commonalities between these things that young people do or say online. The commonalities is that there's a lack of deep knowledge. There's a lack of historical knowledge. There is a lack of systematic knowledge, as in how government really works, from some of the things that they say. And this is quite unfortunate. Now, let me continue with this guy so you can hear some of the things.
I'm letting you know that some people are advancing their political agenda with all these protests. And you are telling me that you are protesting against a bad governance. You will not know the meaning of governance. They talk to me about bad governance. Before you talk about bad governance or good governance, you're supposed to know the meaning of governance first. What do you think is governance? Now, Nigerians, we, the citizens of Nigerians, now we they do ourselves. Now we they really spoil this country. Not be the government. Everybody is saying Buhari's government was nonsense, that Buhari messed up this country. But, for instance, Buhari banned the importation of rice and other food items. And he gave loan to farmers to cultivate rice. And because of the implementation of this ban, a lot of wealthy businessmen invested in rice business. Now, once they harvest this rice, instead of putting this rice into Nigerian market and making sure that we have food sufficiency, these people will buy this rice from farmers, process them, and then export them outside Nigeria. The little ones that is remaining in the country, instead of selling them reasonable price, they form union and begin to control this price among themselves, making sure that the price does not go below 50,000, 60,000. And from each bag of rice, they are making up to 40,000 naira from each bag of rice. And we're still condemning Buhari. Bad governance, all of them are bad governance. Like I tell you now, if we destroy this country, let nobody blame the government. You see what happened during that NSAS? Waiting with the achievement from that NSAS protest. What did we achieve with that protest? Has government removed SARS? Has police brutality stopped in Nigeria? Make we dey use our sense. Only say Nigeria police know they get data. Otherwise, una foresee how far the crime rate in Nigeria increased since that NSAS protest.
All right. Going back to his idea about governance, which I believe many people who are yelling for protests don't really understand. Some of the leading party, I mean, that's in leading guys of these particular protests don't even understand it. I personally do not believe Omoyele Show will understand how governing really works. I'm sorry to say, because when you say things like this, I believe I offend so many guys out there who are supporting these people. I do not believe he has the real perspective of what governance is. He knows how to agitate. He knows how to scream on the top of his noise. He knows how to attack. But that doesn't mean you know how to provide solutions. These are two different things. Okay? These are two different things. Most people who agitate doesn't really have solutions. Many of them knows how to scream at the top of their lungs. Just because you are yelling fire doesn't mean that you know how to put fire out. Period. Okay? Make I speak that one in pidgin English. Because say you dey shout, say fire, don't burn the house. No me say if you put out that fire. Okay? It's as simple as that. So many of them really can recognize problem, but that doesn't mean they can fix problem. So an agitator will always be an agitator, but they are not solution provider. So now, here is the thing. So if you want to go on to agitate about something that you want to protest, you must also make sure that at least you know what the agenda is about. You know who is leading that agenda. You know those people that are, pushing that agenda, so that you are not fighting for other people's cause. You are fighting for your own dream. You are fighting for your own agenda. Many people actually have true ideas. Many people have sincere reasons to protest, but it's just that it's so messed up that, look, it's all mixed up with so many hidden agenda that you can never recognize as a regular person. And that is why we keep coming out telling you guys to be very careful, because you're just mixing things up with people who doesn't have your concern in mind or similar agenda as you have. And at the end of the day, that is most counterproductive.
Now, Igbo people, Southeast, na them bear they brought. Would they blame IPOB? But na NSAS protests caused the criminality where they happen for Southeast. All this unknown government issue. Now, NSAS, they had to go and break the prisons and let criminals out, break into police stations and took their guns, and we are blaming government.
So this is why I said most protest is counterproductive. Okay, when people go out there and protest peacefully, and some people are letting criminals back on the streets, okay, how does that help your cause? How is that helping a peaceful protest? So the only one way to explain that is the criminals have already mixed up with that protest, and their goal is to free some of their people behind bars. And now that is why this guy says since NSAS, there has been an increase in criminal activities in Nigeria, because many of them are on the streets now due to the fact that they were being let out, during their protests. Okay, imagine people breaking into the police station to steal guns. Okay, how can you explain that? What would regular people who just care about getting food on their table, what would they want to do with police guns? So it basically tells you that some bad agents already mix up with these protests to use that opportunity for their own personal agenda. And this is one of the things I'm using my platform to rail against, to warn you guys against. Okay.
Which one would you?
So I think I've had enough with this guy here. You need to check him out on TikTok, social media. He's one of the voices out there, that usually have some wisdom attached to it. So my next video is, picture, I would say, not precisely video, is from one of the posts, on social media by Abati's network, Ruben Abati, the same Ruben Abati online. So the news is flooding online, so I'm just picking one of it. So actually, the Lagos indigenes are now slated to carry what they call Oro, that is a traditional festival that usually restricts movement, because people who live in Lagos in the past, especially in Ikorodu, I live in Ikorodu at some point, and whenever they want to do this Oro thing, it restricts movement. That means you cannot basically go out freely, and so in all around Lagos now, these traditional rulers are now introducing Oro Festival between the 1st of August to 15th of August, exactly the period slated for the protest. And what it basically means is that if Oro is out, you could get hurt, because these guys use some kind of traditional powers and voodoos, and they could do and undo. And look, in our law, I don't think we have any law against magic yet. So that's why we got to be very careful. So now, Oro Festival is about to collide with the protest. So it's not just in Lagos State. Yeah, Lagos State traditional rulers first announced this, but now it's been announced in Oyo State, Osun State, Ogun State, Ondo State, and all of the Yoruba states. And what that means is that there is a fight back from the community. Well, some people are saying this is state-sponsored. Well, it might be the state-sponsored, but don't forget that the state and the traditional rulers work hand in hand. So if you say it's state-sponsored, you are making a point. And if it's not, it's also the same thing. Because if the traditional ruler really say that they want to carry Oro, there's nothing the state can do about it. Because the traditional ruler still have at least some certain autonomy, to the traditional aspect of life, in our community. So they could as well say they want to carry Oro. The state cannot stop them. So if you say the state's sponsored, you may be right, but it doesn't really have to be state sponsored before Oro happen. And Oro Festival doesn't have to be slated, or doesn't have to be fixed time period. It can be any time. For some of us who are Yorubas, we understand this very well. In those days, in the olden days, and now I want you Gen Zs to listen carefully. Now, this is part of the history. So in the olden era, Yoruba people believe in carrying Oro, or these oracle, whenever they sense that there is imminent danger to the society. If they sense there is imminent danger of war, imminent danger of pestilence or epidemic or pandemic or whatever it is one of the cultural things in Yoruba land to carry the oracle around the city in order to be able to cleanse the city of whatever imminent danger is they sense. And so in this case, I'm guessing the imminent danger is the protest that they sensed. So it's quite makes sense that the traditional ruler introduced carrying Oro. Is just in line with what used to be the historical method of the traditional ruler. So there's nothing strange about it. It's just that this time around, everything is so politicized that people who plan the protests are politicized. So people who are introducing oral tradition are also politicized, just to be factual. But every one of them are in line. The oral festival is in line with freedom of speech and freedom of expression and freedom of religion. Whereas the protest too is also in line with the freedom of speech. Everybody is in line with the legality. So you see, it's so messy. It's just so messy here. Just precisely, it's not just the Oro people that are actually about to embark on this type of thing. Some Islamic religious leaders are also fighting back as well. as far as this protest thing is concerned. So listen to this particular video.
Has been very, very receptive. The Lagos that is home to all tribes. These protests, whose violence we don't know, whose motives could be sinister, Lagos does not deserve this. Lagos does not deserve destruction. It does not deserve looting, burning, and killing. It does not deserve hullabaloo, restiveness, fear. We can only walk in a peaceful atmosphere. Our children will go to school only in a peaceful atmosphere. Your shops will only open. You will go to work only if there is peace. And say this, I don't know if I'm qualified to offer this apology to the security agencies for the hostilities unleashed upon them during the exercise, or shall I say?
Okay, just let me put it out there. You know, OGM News or Code Blue is not endorsing that particular apology, period. There's no reason to apologize when people protest. Protest is a freedom of expression, freedom of speech, is part of our system. But, you know, I can understand the idea that he's apologizing for those who hijacked the protest and turned it to a nationwide mayhem rather than a peaceful protest. And this is exactly what we are warning against here, for people to be very careful. I'll let him roll on.
As fallout of the exercise riots, it is only criminals who would hate to see people in uniform. And when they did it, after doing it, we know what happened. Society broke down.
So he's not wrong about that. Yes, truly, the answer protest is a good protest against an oppression from a particular police idea or ideology. And, you know, that was justified. But the only part of it that messes everything up is the idea of some people looting and, you know, invading police stations and stealing guns and ammunitions. Only a criminal will have that kind of idea. I don't see anyone who hasn't used gun before, who doesn't have any motive to use gun, who doesn't have any motive to rob bank or rob anybody, who will be thinking about the idea of carrying guns, especially police guns. So these protests are often hijacked for different purposes that are wrong. And this is what Sir Lablu have been saying.
And other broke down. I want to advise us as leaders, when you get home, when you get to your church, when you get to your mosque, when you go to your community, please talk to the youth. Beginning from the main gate, down to those at the rear. Lagos does not deserve this unkind, unfriendly atmosphere.
So that is that with that particular video. And, you know, just so you know, we are not here to disdain the idea of protest or, you know, tell you that protest is completely wrong. And I'm not particularly here to support any government. And I strongly believe that there is a true reason for Nigerians to protest. There's a reason, especially, I mean, it's been a long while. It's not just because of this current situation. I've personally believed that Nigerians should be out in troops, you know, during Jonathan, even during Obasanjo, during Jonathan, during Buhari, not just this administration, because there is always reason to protest with these governments that we usually have in Nigeria. Unfortunately, we've never had it good in Nigeria. We never had it good. And there's always a reason to voice out, to increase your agitation. I'm for the voice of the people. I'm always for the voice of the people. But even at that, I do not want anyone to be endangered. I do not want anyone to run the risk of losing their lives. And what most usually happen is that when we protest, especially in Nigeria, especially in Africa, people lose his life. What just happened in Kenya will tell you exactly what I had in mind. But unfortunately, I would say here that most of these leaders who yell this agitation and promote these protests, they are not even desensitizing the society enough so that their people will be saved. They just want people to troop out for them and lose their life for them. But they are not doing enough to desensitize the society or desensitize the movement to ensure that their people are safe. Like they act like they don't really mind that people lose life. For what purpose? To what end would you want anybody to lose their life for your own cause, for your own ideology? Because trust me, every one of these young leaders, youth leaders that I've seen so far promoting this protest, every one of them is always about the attention they needed on the social media, period. If you think they really care about you, you have another thing coming. Many of these guys are well-to-do. They are not feeling the hunger. They just want more fame. They want more popularity. They want to be out there, part of the people who are actually eating the pizza, the country's pizza. They don't really care about you that much, because if they do, they will find a way to ensure that you are safe when you go out and protest. But they are not doing that. Now, I give an example in my last show about Martin Luther King and his group of protesters and his movement. Usually they desensitize and they train people how to de-escalate during protests. That even though the policemen attack them, they already know the methods to switch into and de-escalate. Okay? At some point, some protesters, when they were attacked by the police, they start singing, like songs of unity, songs of peace. Some of them will switch into singing the national anthem, just to ensure that, look, this is about the peace of the country. And, you will see some of the policemen have a change of heart, but the real deep, haters among them will still do whatever they want to do anyway, but the idea has always been to train the protesters to know when to de-escalate, because you should always cater for the life of those who are moving for you. Okay? If you have a movement, if you have any ideology that you are pushing out there for people to go out and protest, always remember, first thing is to protect them. Do not push anybody to the crossfire. Don't do that. Whenever you are doing that, you are not different from the politicians who are using other people rather than their own children for thuggish behavior. Okay? You're not different. You're not different from the politicians who pay thugs to go and, do their own dirty work. Because what you are literally doing is using a good voice of forum, of movement, to use regular Nigerians to do your own bidding, without much care about how they will be safe when they do it. This is Code Blue. This is Sir Lablu. I just want to tone down the rhetoric, today, because usually I go after some of these guys, like I don't really care, and if you don't like what I say, I usually say middle finger to you. That's me, Usually I go after these guys. I don't really like when people are just phoning, like, for example, Omoyele Sowore and some others who yelled revolution now, here and there. These guys are phony, period. They need you to push their agenda, to push them to the stardom. But every now and then, the losing end is usually the regular Nigerians. The regular Nigerians, He in particular, Omoyele Sowore, since I've known him, since I've been following this guy, has never had any true agenda that results into anything positive for the people. Never. Never. Look, if I'm wrong, you should come out and dispute it. Omoyele Sowore has never accomplished anything positive for the society through protest, through agitation, through activism. And I've known a lot of activists that have actually accomplished a lot for the people, for the society. Okay, so if you are an activist and all you know is to agitate and yell on the top of your lungs, and you cannot name a single accomplishment of what you have actually done for the people, because every time the government invite this guy for a forum to sit in a round table and negotiate of what he really needs that can actually satisfy a political set of community, I don't think he won't have a community he's fighting for. Okay, it's all over the place. And the idea has always been selfish to me. You know, I would like to single out a particular community. And if I want to have a voice, raise my voice and make sure I resolve something useful for that community. Then move on to the next, move on to the next, move on to the next, one goal after the other. Don't be all over the place. Don't make it all about you. Okay. And I'm sorry to say, this is the same problem I have with Rufai Hosseini in Arise News. Yes, the guys have a big platform. He has a huge voice, but the voice has always been about him. It has always been about him. Whereas, you know, my voice has always been how to protect you guys and make sure that you are in a sound mind, not just following the crowd or not just, you know, going with the wind, whereas you are getting lost gradually as you don't really know what the agenda is. Yes, you want to fight for yourself. You want to fight for the freedom of your people. You want to make sure that, you know, you are able to get food on your table, get a good job, you know, get a sound health. I've always said this is one common goal of Nigerians. Okay. When I was a strong activist out there, that has always been the one objective of every Nigerian, to be able to get out of poverty, to be able to be free out of being oppressed, because we've always known that that goal is the common agenda or the common goal of Nigerians. This is one common goal that we have. Either you are an Islamic, or you are a Christian, or you are a traditionalist. It has always been this one common goal. Either you are from the East, you are from the West, you are from the North. It has always been one common goal: to lift ourselves out of poverty, to lift ourselves out of a situation whereby we are being oppressed. But suddenly today, the agenda is completely messed up. It's completely different from what I used to know. We don't have common goals anymore. Now it's about religion. Some people are fighting for their religion, and so they think the other people who are not, you know, in their path of religion, they are inferior. This is not who we are. Okay, this is not who we are. I grew up learning that, you know, learning in my community, in my small community, you know, Igbo people, Yoruba people, Hausa people flock together, do things together, grew up together. You know, I have a mom that is more or less like a trader. And in that particular market, you know, all tribes of all kinds engage with each other there. You know, it doesn't really matter. In fact, I particularly have a friend growing up who is from the East, you know, and you can hardly tear us apart because we seems to be like brothers, not just friends. This is what I grew up knowing. But suddenly these days, every time we agitate about something, we are tearing each other apart. It's all about religion. It's all about tribe. It's all about, you know, where you come from and where you don't come from. You know, I'm supporting my own man. I'm not supporting my own man. We need to turn these things down, you know. And every time somebody is agitating on something, do not just jump on it. Watch carefully and learn. Watch carefully and learn. You know, and the earlier video I played to you about governance, you know, I really, really want to implore our young people to go back to the basics. Learn how the government really works. Learn how the government really works. Know the name of your senators. Know the names of your representatives. Know the name of your governors, your councillors, your chairman in the local government. Know their names, because all these people have impact on what happens to you as far as governance is concerned. It's not only Tinubu, it's not only the federal government. Okay, don't make it about him. But look, if you don't have to listen to me, make it about him all you can. But you're not going to get any result out of that. Period. If you continue to make everything about your life, about Tinubu and his administration, you won't get a single result out of it. Because in the past, you did the same thing. And the common saying, the philosophical saying is that if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the same result, you are what? Yeah, I won't say what it is, but you know what I mean. So change things a little bit, change the idea. Do not make your life all about the federal government, the president, because that's not how our government works. Yes, the president oversees the country, but he does not have any control over the governors. Okay? He doesn't. You expect the president to be able to take charge of everything, control your governor, then you don't know how our government really works. The governors of each state can give any president the middle finger, and there's nothing he can do about it. That is democracy. Yes, he's giving out billions to your governors. Have you asked any of these governors any questions? Okay, while Abia State governor is doing wonders, right? While Borno State governors is doing wonders, Lagos State, I can name a few of these governors that are doing wonders in their state. What about the rest of the governors? How many states do we have in Nigeria? What happened to people challenging their governor and making sure that whatever they collect from the federal government, they use it well? But you guys are not agitating the right way. I want this thing to be well coordinated so that it really attributes a grassroots importance to any movement. There has to be a grassroots attraction to movements, or else it's just futile. It's futile. What that means is that it yields no fruit, no result. Okay? And I don't want us to keep on just yelling at the top of our lungs every now and then. And I don't want you to believe that the moment you have 1 million followers or 2 million followers on the social media, you can make an impact. No, you are still nothing as far as it's concerned in Nigeria, because less than 5% of Nigerians are able to engage online. Less than 5% of Nigerians are able to engage online. So what happens to the 95% of Nigerians? So if you believe that whatever you say online is impactful to everybody, it means that you don't really know how things work. You have to be able to reach the grassroots with any movement. Okay. And unfortunately, people like Omoyele Sowore is hardly known in the middle belt of Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria, even in the West. How many really know Omoyele Sowore? And the guy thinks he's been cheated off the presidency. That is completely deluded. It's completely deluded. How are you guys not actually telling yourself some real facts here? That Omoyele Sowore thinks he's been cheated out of election against Buhari. How many people know you? Just because you're popular online, that don't mean a shit. And the same thing, I'm sorry to say, because I hate offending my obedient friends. The same thing with Peter Obi. He has presence online. He has presence on social media. He has all the obedience to rail for him. But that don't mean shit if you don't have presence in reality, in real physical ground, in grassroots. And in the last election, most people don't know him in the north. Most people don't know him in the middle belt. Yes, he won Abuja, he won some states. But in Sokoto, in Borno, in Kano, in all these states, if you can at least get about 40% or at least 25% from these states, there's no way you can win Nigeria. It's as simple as that. Now, if you basically win all north and you are not able to pick 25% from the south, the same thing is going to happen to you. That's exactly what happened to Atiku Abubakar. Yeah, he won landslide in some states in the north, but he didn't pick enough votes from the south that can help his cause. Okay? But the only person in the last election, mathematically, that didn't get enough popular vote in Nigeria, but yet made enough strategic vote that can make him the president is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Period. You can say I'm supporting him, but middle finger to you if you say that, because I don't care about the guy. But I'm just realistic. I'm a realistic person. I'm a mathematist more than a brouhaha that just try to fool yourself with some delusion. I'm not that kind of person, because mathematically he didn't pick enough votes as expected in the South. Okay, but at least he picked enough to win the West. But then, what about the North? Strategically, in most places in the North, Bola Ahmed Tinubu made 25% and above, which is required to consolidate whatever he made in the South. And that is what everybody needs. I keep emphasizing this every now and then. And that is why grassroots, real groundwork is needed, not just on social media. Because to be sincere, because I travel a lot in Nigeria, to the north, to the east, I've been almost everywhere, and I truly, truly understand that most people who vote in Nigeria, and not even the elite caucus or the educated caucus, mostly the less educated ones, the illiterate, they usually vote more than any other people. Unfortunately, people in the villages, people who don't have smartphone, who don't have access to social media, who knows about Peter Obi or the obedient, those people are those who usually vote, not the noise makers. As a matter of fact, let me be factual. The voting electorate in Nigeria consists of those more than the young people. The young people, unfortunately, make noises, but mostly don't vote. They don't. It's not just in Nigeria. In America, the same thing. All over the world, most young people do not vote. They would rather be in the nightclub overnight and, hang over and sleep during the day you were voting rather than come out and vote. I don't know how else to say it. Yet some of us, while we are in that level, young, we were engaging. Okay, we were engaging simply because we were part of some kind of movement, some part of kind of association in colleges, in universities, and all that. But how many Nigerian youths are actually engaging in this sort of fashion? How many? How many? Nigerian youths are not that engaging. Forget about you guys online. You don't represent the number on the aggregate level, the number needed for any movement. You never do. Because unfortunately, during my days, when we flock into the streets, we reach each homes, you discover that there's so many people on the ground level, on the grassroots, that are not that are completely elusive to real issue. That you cannot reach these people online. You cannot educate them online. There's no way you can tell them about whatever movements you are forming. That you need to be physical. Yeah, enough of that protesting. I would like to go on, but I have a lot of things that I'm trying to get into before the end of this forum. So I have another video for you, and this takes me to the next topic, actually, about Tinubu's enemies. And I say enemies because they are PDP members. And, as much as the country is railing, yelling about Tinubu's chances and all that, but the question I keep asking myself is, why are more and more people from the other party keep switching to the APC? Why? Can anybody really tell me why this is happening? As in, like breaking news in Nigeria, in our website, ogmnewsng.com, at this moment in time, is reporting that Daniel Bwala, so I'm trying to bring that up, guys, if you can bear with me. Daniel Bwala, has just switched to APC, which is expected because for some reason Daniel Bwala has been on it for a while now. And we've always known that he will find his way back to the APC one way or the other. So on OGM News NG, please guys, I always tell you this, please visit ogmnewsng.com for Nigerian news updates. So OGMNEWSNG.com, OGMnews.com.
Why are you running?
Bwala. Okay, so now we are reporting on OGM News now that Daniel Bwala have actually switched to APC. Is official and I think is finalized. But not only that, we have this report coming in from the Premium Times, a video post by the Premium Times that Pius Aim also is switching to the APC.
Certainly,
What he has
the country is passing through turbulent times, and it is the duty of every patriot. If you have nothing to add, ensure that you contribute to the peaceful atmosphere that will engender progress in the country. Certainly, contributing quota does not necessarily mean to work, but to engender a conducive atmosphere for progress. I'm not looking for work, but there is need that, given the challenges the country is facing today, that we all need to put all the hands on deck to make the country move forward. Certainly, the country is passing through turbulent times, and it is the duty of every patriot.
Okay, before we go on repeating that, that's just so his personal reason of switching, but we all know these politicians and we know exactly why he's switching. Everybody wants to close to the power, wants to get themselves into the round table. So this is a little strange because the more and more, some are railing that, Tinubu doesn't have a good chance of keeping his mandates in the next election. The more and more people are, but the more and more he's capturing his foes, they are turning in the leave by joining the APC party. And this is quite strange, because the reason why I said it's quite strange is that Nigerians don't have opposition party. Okay, you can think they have, but I say they don't. Nigeria don't have opposition party. The opposition party are just jokers. Okay, they're nothing but jokers. Labour Party, PDP, they're jokers. Now, the last time Nigeria ever witnessed a very strong opposition party, unfortunately, that opposition party was led by the same president now, President Tinubu. Okay? He gave PDP a run for their money. That is opposition. And this is one of the reasons why in the past I told you that Tinubu is one of the best politicians Nigeria ever produced. Look, when I say politician, that doesn't necessarily mean a good thing. Okay? So try to get me right. The label politicians, if you are called politician, that is not a good thing. Because I do not believe politicians have any skin of good in their body. They are liars. They are scrupulous. They will do anything to gain positions. So it's another story about what politicians are. But I strongly believe with good factual statistics that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the best politician Nigerian ever produced. Even with all the class of Awolowo, with all the class of Azikiwe, with all the class of Tafawa Balewa, Akintola, and all these past politicians, I believe, strongly believe, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the best politician Nigeria has ever produced. Okay? The best ruling person, the best president. That is not the argument I'm making here. Don't mix it up together. But as far as a politician is concerned, he's the best ever. I will give you two reasons, just two reasons. Now, no, I will even give you three. But the first reason is that one of the political training colleges, okay, or vocational learning schools ever had in Nigeria was by the same man. That is, he has a college in Lagos where you can actually go to register and learn how to become a politician. The last place I've had that ever happen is in the United States. Okay, in the United States, there are so many schools, vocational schools, where you can actually go to, even after you leave college. For example, after you have graduated from the university, you still have to go there to learn some rudimentary ways to be a politician. Now, Tinubu has that. How many politicians can be boastful of that in Nigeria? That you have a particular school where anyone who wants to be good with politics can actually go to and learn how to be politicians. He has that, where he trains so many today to become politicians. Now, in this particular school, it's not only Nigerian politicians that attend it. Outside Nigeria, in various African countries have attended that particular school in order to become a proficient politicians. And so, what does that tell you? Not only that Tinubu has influenced so many politicians that are existing in Nigeria today, he has influence on many politicians that are existing in Africa today. That is one. Secondly, why I say Tinubu is is the best politicians ever produced in Nigeria. He has hand in supporting many Nigerian politicians in high places today. Many that he has actually given out money to or helped sponsored in one way or the other to become governors, senators, House of Rep, and all that. Almost half of the governors in Nigeria today will tell you that Tinubu has hands in them becoming governors. You see what I'm saying? Now, lastly, when it comes to the round table negotiation, nobody does it better. Period. You think you can beat him? Okay, I'll tell you one thing. If you can do this, I want the obedient to tell Peter Obi to go and negotiate something with Tinubu. Anything. Just go to Aso Rock, negotiate anything with Tinubu. Anything, just anything. And let's see who will win that negotiation. I can assure you that Peter Obi will come out of that negotiation looking like a fool. And before you know it, he's already moving to APC. Believe it. The guy can out-talk you into whatever you think you are and change you to a different person. That is a grandeur negotiator. So these are many more my reasons why I said he's a very good politician. He's one of the best around the world, and he's the best Nigeria has ever seen. He's one of the best in Africa. Okay? Because he knows the game. He knows the game. True and true. Okay? But that doesn't mean that being a politician is a good thing, like I said earlier. But as far as knowing the game, how to play politics, look, don't mess around. He's the man. He's your man. All right. And now, enough for the day. Okay. Now, this is Code Blue and this is Sir Lablu. And I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. Sorry, I Sorry,
the national
there's
minimum
breaking
wage
news coming in, so I'm about to
from
sign out.
30,000
but,
to 70,000,
I have to share this
and to
with you
reduce the
guys.
time for periodic review of the national minimum wage from 5 years to 3 years, and for later matters 2024. Third reading taken and passed. Leader of the Senate.
Wait.
Yeah, sorry guys. I think there's a mess up somewhere. Okay, yeah, I got what I need. It seems like the leader of the Ohanese group, Chinese, the president General Iwanyao, has passed. That is the breaking news that is just reaching me from the control room. And I quickly want to share that with you before I leave. So the Daily Post of Nigeria is reporting that Iwanyao, the leader of the Ohanese group, has just passed. The news coming in is that he's just passed. Well, I'm in live right now, so OGM News require me to template that news and release it, but I don't know. Well, I've done what they asked me to do. Chief Nwanyao has just passed. All right. This is Code Blue, and this is Sir Lablu. And I hopefully will see you guys in a jive. Be a good Nigerian. Be good to yourself. Be good to your family. Be a good man. Be a good woman. Be a good wife. Be a good husband. Because Sir Lablu is signing out, and I don't want you to run into trouble. I'll see you again on Code Blue with Sir Lablu on OGM News Nigeria.
Code Blue. Code Blue. Sir Lablu, where you there now? Where you
The country is in a disaster.
Emergency, emergency. Emergency. The country is in the disaster. Code Blue. Code Blue. Sir Lablu, where you there now? Where you
The country is in a disaster.
Emergency, emergency. Emergency. The country is in the disaster.
Who they rule this country?
I tell you, stop worshiping the politicians. They are all liars.
What are you talking about? Which politicians are liars?
All of them. Obi is a liar. Tinubu is corrupt. Atiku is very willing too. All of them. Okay.
Don't argue with me. This is my show. Okay, this is my show. I don't allow anybody to dictate my show. This is my show. This is my show. Okay, you can get the heck out of this room. Baba, this is my show. Get the heck out of this room. I don't handle this my duty.
I am saying it categorically. All of them are liars. All of them are thieves.